The chemical process within the body which promotes fat storage is relatively straightforward. It basically revolves around insulin levels. When the body is chemically balanced and working normally, food is digested in the gut, releasing glucose into the bloodstream. This in turn triggers beta cells within the pancreas to increase the level of insulin, which then allows the glucose to be used by the body's cells for energy. The greater the insulin levels, the greater the metabolism of glucose. If energy released from this glucose is not used during our daily energy expenditure, it eventually becomes stored in the body's cells as fat deposits. When all our food is digested and glucose levels in the bloodstream subside, insulin levels reduce accordingly. This changes the body's metabolism over from fat storage to fat usage, and all those little fat deposits stored within the body's cells start to break down into usable forms of energy. Consequently, the longer the fasting process between meals, the longer the fat burn period brought about by low levels of insulin. In a recent study reported by the Intensive Dietary Management website, 14 diabetics were given oral insulin over a 6-month period. Their insulin levels were steadily increased up to 100 units per day. By the end of the study, their body weight had increased on average by 19 pounds. Furthermore, this was in spite of a reduction in daily food consumption by an average 300 calories each. Although the patients ate less, they put on a significant amount of weight, suggesting it was the insulin, not the calories, driving weight gain. In another study conducted with 708 diabetics, oral insulin was added to their treatment. As expected, they gained weight. The patients who received the highest doses of insulin gained the most, while those on the low dosages gained the least. Insulin resistance. This is a condition where the body's cells fail to respond normally to varying levels of insulin. Consequently, as glucose enters the blood, more insulin is produced to counteract the body's resistance, promoting weight gain, as more insulin means more fat storage. If insulin resistance is not reversed, it can lead to type 2 diabetes, along with an increased risk of weight gain. The condition is promoted by a habitual high intake of too much sugar, fructose and carbohydrates at regular intervals, interfering with the body's natural ability to reset its overall chemical balance. To reverse the detrimental slide towards insulin resistance, a low sugar carbohydrate diet needs to be implemented along with periods of fasting. The abuse of alcohol through binge drinking will also contribute to insulin resistance. Western society is consuming far too much sugar. The World Health Organization have recently reduced their recommendation for a person's sugar consumption down to no more than 5% of their total energy intake. This is equivalent to approximately 25 grams or 6 teaspoons per day. However, the average American today consumes 19.5 teaspoons per day or 82 grams. When taking into account that a small 12-ounce can of Coke contains an alarming 39 grams of sugar, anyone who consumes a modest soft drink smashes their daily sugar allowance in minutes. Insulin sensitivity. By eating a high sugar and carb diet at regular intervals, the body loses its sensitivity towards insulin. This is comparable to the drug addict needing larger amounts of the drug to achieve the same result. The body is the same with insulin. Abusing it with a constant stream of sugar and carb will reduce its sensitivity. It is thought that around 1/3 of the world's population has some degree of insulin resistance. Promoting greater levels of insulin, which turns off the fat burn process. What they need is the opposite, insulin sensitivity. When the body is sensitive to insulin, less of the hormone needs to be produced to achieve the desired effect, reducing the chance of weight gain. To reverse an insulin-resistant metabolism, changes need to be made to give your body a break from the unhealthy onslaught of high sugar and carb consumption. Fasting once a month together with intermittent fasting can help reset the body's sensitivity to insulin. Low insulin levels also trigger the body's natural healing process to take place, restoring balance and overall health. There are a variety of great foods which will promote insulin sensitivity. Foods low in sugars and carbohydrates. More exercise and more sleep will also improve insulin sensitivity. The zodiac is a profound cosmic calendar reflecting our natural conscious connection to universal rhythms and cycles. The moon represents internal needs and emotional fulfillment. It is the key to unlocking a person's habitual eating practices. To reset the body's unhealthy eating habits, the moon's phases can be utilized to have the greatest impact on resetting our bodies back in tune with nature. The zodiac tells us when we should break our fast and eat. It also gives us the opportunity once a month during the new moon to break away from deep-rooted bad habits and reprogram the subconscious with healthy new ones.